Sportscaster of the Year.
Right.
And it was fun. Missed you guys.
Same here, bud.
And then we'll have this show, and we'll be in studio tomorrow, and then we get off Friday and start the July 4th weekend. I haven't heard, is it supposed to be, what's the weather supposed to be like? Is it nice? Rain? What? I don't even know.
I think it's going to be sunny and free.
Today, as always, on our hump day, Doug, we'll have Trey Reed stopping by. He'll make fireworks together. That should be Craig O'Neill. I don't think's ever been out here. Craig will be out here. We'll have to get Craig to shoot off some fireworks.
Do you think that Trey will give us an idea of the best firecracker to use for fishing?
They do throw a bomb in the that paralyzes the fish, but I don't know exactly what that is.
It might be in this case of historical fireworks.
Yeah, you guys have a case that you're not supposed to be able to access, right?
Vintage stuff that
that's outstanding
anymore.
Yeah, it is really cool.
So
we'll have Craig O'Neill stopping by. An extra treat today. There's obviously big news with that. The biggest court case in America is the one about the Idaho killer who killed the 4 students, and Chandler Painter covered that for Court TV, and she's all over. She's going to jump on with us today. And it was
on the air when all that started.
Yeah,
I think it was one of the first times people started noticing her in her green dress.
That was actually.
Was that something else?
No, that was the big court trial with the guy from.
Johnny Depp?
Yeah, Johnny Depp.
Really? Good eye.
Yeah, very nice.
But listen, but by all this, and boy, the family is not too happy for obvious reasons.
Well, here's the deal. So what's happened is he apparently today at 11, he's going to do a plea deal. He pleads guilty. He avoids the death penalty, but he doesn't have to admit anything. And so, my understanding was at first, this is what the family wanted, and that apparently the prosecutors had gone to the family and say, this is what we got. Well, now families go, wait a minute. That's not what we agreed to. So Chandler will fill us in the details on that.
And there's a lot.
There's another big story, too. The Diddy trial. Did you hear?
Yeah,
they came back with they had one. I think there were 5 charges, and they have come to an agreement on 4 of the 5. But I can't remember the one if they actually said, was it the racketeering? I think it might have been it. They weren't sure about that one, so that's happening today. So Chandler will jump on with us around 7:30 just to give us a little update on that. And then we got to play Matt's Game, brought to you by Pickup Truck Accessory Warehouse. We got to do Factor Crap, brought to you by Arkansas Municipal Equipment and Highway 270 Grill. So a lot of games playing. Are we giving away any fireworks at all?
Oh, yeah.
We are. We are giving away some fireworks.
Sure.
Last night we were at Boudreaux's. Josh, we had the biggest group we've ever had at 10 brains, and could not win that thing last night. So that was very.
Well, we're in the money.
Well, you know who won? It was a small Mother Cluckers.
It was
group. It was like 5.
Well, they nailed it with the very last question, and I don't want to give those away because I'm going to use them again on Thursday.
And then the second place was the gentleman from Danville, the father and the son, and 2 guys, 2 brains.
Two guys.
And so
and he knew history. Now, one of some of the other guys, one of the other teams, forgive me for I should know their name. It was they're some of the smartest people that come to play trivia, and they came in 5th by a couple of points, but it was because they said it's their worst subject. Was the American history.
Oh, yeah.
And I would have thought it would have been easy for them.
I'm out on your American history.
Well, listen, it's
Josh,
I have the answers, so it was easy for me.
Josh, what do you attribute the poor performance of our 10 brains last night?
You came in the money.
I know, but with 10 brains, and it was a young. You're in. Josh is in the table. Yeah, like 5 or 6. And we had me and Al, older.
You, Al, Jessica,
and Jack,
and that was it.
Jack, yeah. And Josh,
we missed the combo question.
The old combo. If you miss the combo, you're in trouble. Listen, Doug, the competition's very tough.
It is.
What's crazy, when you walk around, you can't look at people and tell how smart they are. You can't do it. You may walk by, you go, that guy probably made it.
You can't judge a book by its cover.
No,
why not?
No,
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Josh.
We know those. We walked by maybe those girls last night, and they're all valedictorians from their schools. Like, hey, chump, you're about to go down tonight. 53. Had no idea.
You helped out. It was fun. It was real fun to do that. And again, I actually thought, and there were ties. There was a massive tie of 4 or 5 teams maybe up until the last half of the second half, and then the final question separated everybody. Because I have the answer, so I think they're so easy on some of these things. A lot of it I learned from Schoolhouse Rock, and some of it is fun to go back because I love history, and American history is so awesome. To be such a baby country compared to everybody else,
yes.
It was so fun to do that, and for me to be able go back and learn some of that history. It's outstanding. I was talking to Doug earlier because he's been to Boston. He's going to give me a heads up on the tour. When we went to Boston before, but I didn't take the tour, the Freedom Trail tour.
Right.
We just did it ourselves. We had a tour guide in Pat Bradley and his mom and dad. That's exactly what that was now that I think about it. But it was fun. We'll do it again Thursday at Mainline Sports Bar.
It's all about the fireworks today. I did see. I wrote this down the last time we were here. You're going to stand there owning a fireworks stand and tell me you don't have any whistling bungholes, no spleen splitters, whisker biscuits, hunky lighters, Husker do's, Husker don'ts, cherry bombs, nipsy daisies, with or without scooter stick, one scooter whistling, kitty chasing, crap flappers.
I think you had homework to watch that movie. Have you seen it yet?
Yeah, I did, and I actually liked it. I actually liked it. I like, wow,
it's fun.
I was going in with no expectation. Of course, it was a 2. There was they didn't do a. I don't know if that was
they did it. They did it, and I think it was a straight to Netflix or something like that type thing. Not Dirty. What's his name?
Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt 2 or something like that.
Yeah. Josh, you're a young man. Did you grow up around fireworks? And we probably asked you this last year, but I can't remember. It was a year ago.
Yes.
Did you grow up around fireworks? Okay. You wonder if the new generation, enjoys fireworks like we used to do. And we didn't have near the selection that's out here. I mean, not even. You maybe it's one row of all we had back in the day.
You know what, David? I was talking to Robert James Hawk, a representative of this fine state, was with us all day yesterday. I appreciate him stepping in and Pigskin on Monday. But talking with RJ, when I grew up in a housing project, so some of the things that we had sparklers, you had some black cat fireworks and some bottle rockets, maybe some Roman candles. That was about it. And you had punks. RJ grew up on a farm in Athens, Texas.
Right.
He had llamas, goats, cows, pigs, and he had the ability to shoot fireworks anywhere he wanted to out on his property.
Right.
So he had the Roman candle fights and that sort of thing. Some people had bottle rocket fights.
Yeah.
John Daly, talking to John Daly, I said,
that.
well, if RJ did Roman candles, can you imagine what Yale County's favorite son, John Daly, did? And they shot bottle rockets, which is still dangerous, but even seems a little bit more stinging.
Well, you know my story. I always tell hey, Trey, I didn't even see you walk in. Here, give him a headset. My story, I always tell it every year, is that a dude, Wes Barrett, who had hair under his arm before anybody, deep voice, he hit puberty obviously earlier. He was shooting me with a Roman candle, shooting at me with a Roman candle. So I'm running away, and he hits me right in the back.
Oh,
nice.
And I close my eyes and I run into this mailbox. I'm like, it's just, and it burn a hole in my shirt.
Absolutely.
And so,
because it was fire.
And then, Roger, one time I was throwing a firecracker down by the canal, and I think, Doug, you may remember this, but I went back like I'm going to throw a football, and it's right by my ear, and it explodes.
Yeah, I remember.
And I'm telling you, I didn't get my hearing back for probably a day. It worried me. It worried me.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
so, of course,
well,
and then
Pierre Paul.
And then,
Yeah,
that's right.
We discourage lighting things in your hands.
Yeah,
Yes,
light fuse
yes.
and get away.
The other thing is that you there was always a dude in the neighborhood. You always had the dude who had like the cherry bomb or what was the other M160 or whatever.
He also smoked.
It really did.
Yeah.
There's always that dude. Hey, man,
He would smoke, close his eye because the smoke was getting in it, and he'd take that cigarette out and light his stuff with that cigarette. And he was like 15.
My parents were like, "You stay away from those the dangerous ones."
Right.
There was always one guy in the neighborhood that would do that.
What was the kid's? We'll give him the name. What was the kid's name in Bad News Bears? Kelly Lake. We'll call him Kelly Lake. It'd be that type of guy.
I need to go back and watch that.
Hey,
today.
Do y'all remember the Jason Pierre-Paul thing? That this big story was about Adam Schefter and the fact that he violated HIPAA and trying because everybody knew that JPP had an accident, but they were trying to figure out like what his finger situation was, and I believe Adam Schefter violated HIPAA en route to figuring out that he had lost, I believe, a finger and a half.
And he did.
He did. Yeah, he did.
I can't remember. I can't remember how it affected his production.
I don't know if it did.
I think it did because he could, because
you would think it affected him for sure.
It did.
Yeah, but he kept playing, right?
He's a big old boy.
Yeah,
absolutely.
he kept playing.
You got to let a guy like that, as big as he is, continue to try to play.
That's right. Today is National it's this month. We've hit July. Yes, obviously yesterday was the beginning of July. National Picnic Month. It's National Watermelon Month.
Yeah.
Did you see where it's National Disco Day today?
I did.
But here's the deal. You know where it's National Disco Day today? It's sort of misleading. In New Zealand. New Zealand, rather. Okay. New Zealand. Okay. Oh, it's for some reason, America, I don't know when our disco day is, but New Zealand had a different one, and yes.
What does New Zealand know about disco?
Well, they got it from us. Wow, did you hear that voice of God that just came through there? My goodness. How are you, Trey?
I'm good, man. Hanging out with Rowdy over here. I guess he is the shop mascot, but he's a very friendly fella, and I've got a new buddy. It looks like.
Yeah, he likes you a lot. I'm sure you've got plenty to talk about today, Trey. This is a busy one. Listen, they've already said this is going to set records this week, and everybody's getting out. I'm traveling at the worst day to be driving down to Panama City. But hey, that's what this is about. That's what July 4th is about.
Yeah, when the 4th falls on a Friday or a Monday, and obviously it's Friday this year, from a game and fish perspective, it's probably going to be a pretty big